welcome to another Tri-tutors video. In today's video, we're going to go through some key points. We're going to try and summarize Act 3 of Shakespeare's Hamlet. Now, Hamlet is a really detailed play, so this video is not going to cover all the specific details of Act 3, but it's going to try get across those major plot points, those key points that they tend to ask about in contextual questions in exams. So we're just going to go through those key points together and hopefully gain a better understanding of the plot line and maybe a bit of information about the characters and the themes. Act 3, Scene 1. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern report back to Claudius and Gertrude that Hamlet is still depressed and mad and they can't figure out why. Polonius tells Ophelia to stand and wait for Hamlet to come by. So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern don't have an answer for Claudius, and so then Claudius circles back to Polonius' idea. Polonius' idea is that Hamlet's madness is due to him being in love with his daughter Ophelia, so he and Claudius hide behind a tapestry and observe the interaction between Hamlet and Ophelia. Hamlet wanders towards Ophelia, contemplating death. So throughout Hamlet, we see that yes, there's a lot of story going on, but we also get a lot of insight into Hamlet's head through all of his monologues and soliloquies, where he talks about what he thinks, and he's very depressed at this point, and so he's thinking a lot about death, and he contemplates this as he's sort of walking by. Yes, it adds to his idea of madness because he's walking and sort of talking to himself and talking about all these sort of serious issues, but at the same time we can see that actually some of it is truthful, like he is thinking these thoughts about death. Ophelia tells Hamlet that she has some things to return to him, such as letters and gifts that he gave her, and Hamlet really goes on the offensive or on the defensive, and he starts to question her character and her honesty. Hamlet claims that he loved Ophelia once at some point, but that now she should go to a nunnery to escape sin. And he actually mentions this quite a few times. He tells her to take herself to a nunnery to escape from sin. Hamlet asks where Polonius is. He suspects that Polonius is behind this interaction, and of course he is correct, but Ophelia resists this and says that he's not there. Hamlet continues to insult Ophelia, really upsetting her, and leaves. Ophelia is heartbroken that Hamlet's good character has been overwhelmed by insanity. And here we can sort of start asking ourselves this question of, is Hamlet's madness really fake? Like he said it was in Act 1 that he was going to, act crazy in order to enact this revenge, or has it really overwhelmed him now? Has it really truly become him because of how he acts towards Ophelia? So is he truly mad, or is he still putting on this act that's sort of ambiguous? And that's for us to figure out and decide what evidence there is to prove whichever stance we are going to be trying to prove in an essay or in a contextual question. Claudius sees that Hamlet's madness is not due to love and resolves to send him into exile, as he is proving to be dangerous. Why is he proving to be dangerous? Because Claudius thinks maybe he's onto him, maybe he's figured out this whole thing. We need to get Hamlet away before he threatens the throne. Act 3, Scene 2. The players, the actors, they prepare for the performance, and Hamlet presents the first player with a new scene he has written to perform as part of the play. This new part is really similar to the events which he thinks has happened based on what the ghost has said, and he wants this play to mirror those events so that he can tell how Claudius and Gertrude react, and from their reactions he's going to try and figure out whether they are guilty or not. Hamlet confides in Horatio. This is the only person he really seems to trust in Denmark, what he is trying to do and what he's trying to prove, and he asks Horatio to judge Claudius's disposition during the performance and assess what he thinks about it. Does he think Claudius is guilty? The performance begins showing a king and queen in love. Gertrude claims that the queen is being a bit much. Claudius asks Hamlet if he's seen this play before and whether or not it is offensive, to which Hamlet coyly responds that the play is inoffensive to those who are innocent. We then see a player and actor pouring poison into the player king's ear, and at that point Claudius abruptly leaves, which is exactly what Hamlet wanted, because now he's shown his guilt by abruptly leaving this performance. Hamlet sees this as proof of his guilt, and Gertrude also leaves. She storms off, she's really upset, and she requests to speak with Hamlet because she is very upset about the situation. So here we can see things are escalating, but Hamlet finally has his proof here. So theoretically, he should be able to avenge his father after this because he has proof that the ghost was real and that it was actually him, and that Claudius is the one who killed his father. But of course, things are not going to go smoothly. Act 3, Scene 3. Claudius speaks to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern now, and he tells them that he is sending them along with Hamlet to England. When Claudius is alone, he prays and admits to killing King Hamlet. He wishes to be forgiven, but he's not so repentant because he doesn't want to give up the prizes of his sin. He doesn't want to give up his queen or the throne. So he wants to be forgiven, but he says, can I be forgiven even if I don't have to give these things up, give these things back? Hamlet sees Claudius praying and intends to enact his revenge, but then he stops short of killing him because he sees that Claudius is praying, and he thinks that if he kills him while he's praying, then Claudius may go to heaven. And the whole thing with the ghost was that the ghost is sort of roaming the earth because he's been killed unprepared. He didn't have time to repent to be sent to heaven, and so he's left to sort of wander. And Hamlet doesn't want to give Claudius the satisfaction or the sort of the he doesn't want to do a good deed and kill Claudius while he's praying, because then he'll be sent to heaven and he won't have to suffer. He won't have to suffer just like his father has to suffer. So he doesn't kill him, and this is very important because once again it shows that level of inaction from Hamlet, his indecisiveness, but also his overthinking in this case. He's overthinking leading to inaction. Act 3, Scene 4. Polonius hides behind a tapestry to eavesdrop on Gertrude's conversation with Claudius. Gertrude tells Hamlet off for upsetting Claudius. Hamlet rebukes Gertrude for her hasty marriage. Gertrude fears Hamlet's madness. Hamlet then hears a noise from behind the tapestry, and thinking it's Claudius spying on them, he stabs the tapestry, which lands up killing Polonius. As Hamlet continues rebuking his mother, the ghost appears to him, the ghost of King Hamlet appears to him and reminds him of what he said in the first act. He said, "You must avenge my death. That is your true task. No, don't criticize your mother. Leave Gertrude alone." Gertrude is sure now that Hamlet is mad. She had her suspicions at first, but this ghost instant proves it because she cannot see the ghost. Only Hamlet can see the ghost. Hamlet knows at this point that he's bound for England and that Claudius has probably arranged for his death, but that he plans to outsmart him. So obviously Claudius has told him he's going to England for some sort of diplomatic reason, but Hamlet has figured out that it probably means that he's sending him to his death, but he says over here he already plans to outsmart him. And then just to prove Gertrude's fears further about her son's madness, he's then drags Polonius's body out of Gertrude's room in a sort of very sort of inhumane and mad way. So in Act 3, we definitely see Hamlet's madness at sort of its peak. We can understand that most of the characters do determine him to be mad, and as I said earlier, it's sort of up to us to question whether his madness is true, whether it's actually fake, or whether it's actually got the best of him and he has sort of turned mad. Remember, whatever argument you make, just make sure you back it up with evidence. We see the themes of indecisiveness, of inaction, and overthinking very much prevalent in this act, and this is going to set us up for the following two acts where we're going to have the big duel, the big battle, and we're going to see how all of these characters' lives end and how all the strings of the plot work together to form a very tragic conclusion. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. Please remember to like the video and to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.